Good evening, everybody, and welcome to Lower Makefield Township Golf Committee meeting for October 2020. We have the Golf Committee on the line virtually, and Mike Atara from Spirit Golf. I'm going to turn it over to Mike.
Thanks, Rich. What I'll do is I'll share my screen so everybody can see the agenda, and then I'll flip on to the financials. And then we can just kind of walk through what we have. And, Eddie's doing the outing, so he's busy today. Mark was going to try to pop in, so he may still join us. And if not, I'll take the golf committee. So 1 second. Figure this out real fast. Okay. Okay, let me. Okay. Everybody see that okay?
Yep.
Good. All righty. So just going through the agenda for the month of September, obviously a very good month weather-wise. Golf was very busy. If you look at the 219 total rounds played, we did pick up almost 500 rounds from where we were behind. So still behind 1,561 rounds year to date, but that was a pickup of about almost 500 rounds inside the month of September. Green fees were $1,048,000 for the period at this point. So we're still tracking behind with the closing, obviously, and cart fees right now at $384. Range fees at $132. So range had a really good month. So getting a lot closer. Merchandise, as you can imagine, still behind, but again, just about on budget for the month when we get into the monthlies. And you can see F&B right now, $229 and $59,000, but $288 total year to date. As we go through the month, like I said, very busy. We had several events. I think I counted 15 days where we had something going on, whether golf outing, in-house music, parties, weddings, you name it. We kind of had it in September, so it was a very busy month. So rounds 5259. Budget 4,700, so we're 111% of budget. Green fees for the month 171, budget was 153. Cart fees 67, budget was 60,000. Merch came in about 95%, so we're starting to see a little more activity. Some of the clubs we rang up, things got hit in September, so that was good. So just really a good, successful month all around. So we did a couple of big events. We did have our first wedding, which was a big one, 135 people. And then a second one later in the month for 85 people as well. Other golf outings, like I said, I think we had 4 more outings. And we did some rebooking from some stuff that was in the spring as well. Folds of Honor right now is sold out, which is great. As we get a little bit later, I'm going to ask if we can get some help, maybe with some sponsorships, some raffles, some donations for local businesses. Kind of basically all we're at right now, just trying to pick up whatever we can for some ancillary dollars on that event, but going very well. So that's moving along. 4Up software, we are ready to go. We're gonna turn it over November 2nd. And I think just to kind of recap a little bit about what we talked about last month, just, communication process be a lot cleaner with this new system. Still have credit cards uploaded. There'll be an initial email because we cannot transfer credit cards onto the system. We're going to send out an email, try to prompt everybody to get their credit card on file again so that we can get back to online bookings and cashless transactions. Some of the improvements, the no-show procedure will be much improved with the wait list system. So we'll have the option to actually take names, have them, and kind of know when people are looking to play. And with the texting feature, be able to text them to fill any open spots. Going into no-show policy, we did do some research on no-show policy. I'd like to send that to everybody and just kind of maybe have like a conversation about the differences and options that are out there as we write our policy. So I'll give you what we're going to intend to put in the policy, and then as well kind of show you what's out there, and we can then hopefully define that and launch that November 2nd. Loyalties is also a nice piece that the new program brings back for us. So we'll be reestablishing the loyalty program. Course maintenance, what we did is we kind of gave you our notes from our walkthrough. Ed, myself, and Mark did a walkthrough on October 8th. So we just like to, get out there and walk it every so often, kind of get a good look. Golf course in great shape right now. All the aeration on the greens healed up really nice. A lot of seeding going on. A lot of little areas are getting in the rough area, and some of those fairway spots have been reseeded. Fairway aeration, we've been doing a little bit. We demoed a new unit that we've been working with, and that's been helping a bunch to get some of those areas done in the fairways. But we're also going to bring in a contractor November 2nd to do the majority of the fairways. So we'll get all the fairways cored and core aerated and cleaned up November 2nd. That'll close us for that day, just so everybody knows. So we'll put some notices out about that one, but should really help a lot with the fairways right now. Tee aeration is just getting done as we go. So with that new machine, we've been getting a lot done with the demo unit, so it's helping a bunch. Tee markers and logos for better presentation, just some stuff we've been looking at. Tee markers are getting kind of tired. They've been out there from the beginning, and so something we want to look at updating for next season. So we'll shoot over some different examples and ideas, and maybe as a committee we can come up with the best look for what we want. Cart traffic signs. I asked Mark to start pulling together some better traffic signage out there. Most of what we're seeing obviously is cart wear right now from especially with all the play. And those areas off the fairways that as you kind of get to the cart paths take a real beating. So we're doing some seeding in those areas, and but I just like to see a little more signage out there for that. Talked about the pop bunkers. Probably the biggest challenge I think we've been facing with the bunkers, the new bunkers I should say, is just maintaining the depths in some of the smaller bunkers. So Mark's going to be on that a little bit more with probing on a little more regular basis, just to make sure the sand stays at the right level, because they get moved around in those little bottoms, and it's been a little bit of a challenge. We've had some issues there. So that was addressed. Parking lot was also, we're just getting some different landscaping ideas and pricing to kind of re-landscape the actual parking lot beds and figure out how to clean out those junipers, what might work better in there. We met with the Public Works Director to look at paving some of the redstone areas just to help with drainage and keep it cleaner. Redstone just, over time, it's wearing out. We freshened up a few spots with the stone we had left in-house, but definitely looking to do that in the springtime. Next section was the bunker list. So we kind of went back through the bunkers. I think we have 13 more that are kind of the ones we really want to tackle for 21. So as we go into the rest of this season and into 21, we want to prep up the rest of these bunkers. Most of them are greenside bunkers that would just finish those holes. There's several that have, you kind of get that very clean white look, and then you still got an older bunker that has more of a tan beige color sand in there from all the silt that's built up over the years. So to kind of get them consistent, the ones we're looking at, the one on hole 1, there's one that still needs to be redone, and then a couple of the faces on the right just need some sodding work. 2, the bunker short of the green would get done. 3, the 2 bunkers. That's, I think, one of our worst bunkers on the golf course is the back number 3 greenside bunker. So that would get tackled. 1 on hole 4. Hole 5, no bunkers, but looking at really trying to clean up that wear spot on the right. That's just a lot of shale right there. So our goal there is to kind of clean that, really dig it out a little bit, put more topsoil in, get it seeded, and actually curb it. It's a bit of a water issue there too, because it's so steep right there. So by regrading it a little bit, we think we can get more water on it and it'll hold up a little better. So it's just been kind of a sore spot that we want to fix. The 1 fairway bunker on 6, which clean up that hole. 10 has 1 bunker, 12 has 1 bunker. 13, kind of same thing we're talking about on 5. There's that wear spot on that right side that we want to fix up. 14 greenside bunker has 3. I don't know if we get to those next year. We did do those, if you recall, kind of before we did the capillary concrete. So those bunkers have been renovated at one point, but they've not been done with capillary. So that may be a 2022 or a fall of 21, depending how the budget goes. 16, the bridge is getting a little bit dangerous. A couple of the boards are really starting to rot out. So we're gonna do some board replacement there. Nothing real major. There's a little bit of erosion underneath, but nothing we don't think that could be resolved. So we're looking at getting that repaired. And then 17, the one on the left, the 1 greenside bunker needs to be done, that very steep bunker. Any questions on the bunkers and that project? Good.
Mike, just on the course, I don't know if anybody else was out there on Sunday, but I noticed 2 things Sunday morning. 1, there was a pretty heavy frost and we didn't have a frost delay. Was that a miss? Because, again, considering the dam, there you could definitely see tire tracks in the rough from some of the maintenance equipment, and I was just a little bit surprised. And then 2, the range was closed Sunday morning. Any issue there, or that was just a mistake?
I don't, as far as the frost, Rich, I do leave that up to Mark to make that call. So
I'm just curious, it was a heavy one. I just,
Yeah, definitely was cold Saturday going into Sunday. So I'll check on that with him. And I don't know about the range, why it was closed, to tell you the truth. I did not get that report that it was closed. So first I'm hearing.
Oh, I heard about it. The picker was broken.
Might have been down for that period of time. It's up and running now. So
okay, that's what I thought too. I just was
a timing thing went down. Yeah.
All right.
And the range is something, long-term kind of conversation. We think, there's definitely some needs out there in that range to do some repairs, but I think that would go into 2022 at this point. I did talk to to Kurt the other day. They're planning the budget workshop is probably going to be the end of this month. So he's got our budget at this point. We got $100,000 earmarked for capital. Obviously, bunkers will be 40 to 50 of that to tackle these bunkers. A little bit on the bridge repair, and then the other piece would be some equipment we're looking at to do some leasing. Our current lease would drop off in 2 years, so if we picked up some leasing this year, it would help us replace some of the triplexes. Good news on the rough mower. You know, after I don't know how many times we've had that thing back and forth to the vendor, I was nearing the lemon law, you know, putting a claim in against them, but they took the thing back. They really did a bunch of work to it, got it back to us, and it seems like they've resolved the issues. So I think we're going to be okay now with that machine for a couple of years. So it looks like they've resolved everything that was going on there. So that was good. So that saved us the, you know, having to jump into that now, but gives us the opportunity to look into some rough mowers, into some triplexes this year. You know, still going. Yep. Question. Was there a question? Okay.
Can I get in on this thing?
Oh yeah, you there?
I'm here.
Oh well, there you go. I didn't know you were there.
I
Look at
know.
all that
I've
talking.
been here. I'm trying to get in. I'm very bad at.
All right. Well, we hear you, Mark. So go
Okay.
ahead. Why don't you give us you heard the question on Rich's. Can you give him an update on that?
On the frost, yes.
Yes.
To not delay the play. The greens were not frosty. I didn't have them mow because, you know, it would tear up the rough. It wouldn't do anything to the greens. So to get the play going and not have a delay, I put them on a cart path till 8:30, and then everything went smooth.
Okay.
If there was any cart tracks out there, it was from the players, not from my mowers, because they did not go out.
Gotcha. Okay. All right.
So,
Have you noticed
you know,
any?
it's a fine line, you know, try to get play going, and
Yeah.
that's how I do it.
Did you notice any issues today, Mark, with cart
No.
tracks? You didn't have
No.
any sustained damage. Okay.
If
No,
there was
Mark-
any,
Mark, thanks for that. You know, look, when I pulled in on Sunday morning, I was more than happy to see we were going out. I was frankly, I was pretty surprised. I think what I saw as far as marks was definitely not from a cart. It was behind the green on 9, and it looked like, you know, two pretty major tire tracks. And it might be maybe the grass has stood back up already, but you could definitely see, and you know, I would presume that was frost related. But again, I was just curious more than anything else.
yeah, it's a fine line when the frost doesn't set a lot of times till it just becomes sunlight, till the sun rises. So, you know, they're out there, and those guys know, they've been trained to. They have the, you know, headlights on there. They can see the frost, and it just comes up right at sunrise. It's a weird phenomenon, but that's the way it happens.
Yep.
So I wasn't there on Sunday, but I was in touch with my supervisor there, and he didn't go out. So the rough, it's not going to affect the rough, but it's very precarious, I should say, you know, mowing the greens when it's that frosty.
Yeah. Yeah. I think it's the right call not to mow them. So,
Right.
you know, I think that's,
Yeah.
that's
You
fair.
just have to suck it up and, you know, kind of, but you got to get play out there, and you don't want to mess up the whole day. Because if I sent them out there, then you'd have to have another delay of a half hour, 45 minutes.
Sure.
So,
But what is more worthwhile? Delaying play as opposed to damaging the course?
Yeah, well, I think, Tim, what Mark's saying, he did not mow so not to damage the golf course. So we let play out, and then there's no damage and no time delay because we're not mowing and not having the carts on the fairways.
Oh,
Doing car
okay,
path
I
only.
misunderstood. Okay, all right.
They were on the cart path till 8:30 when the frost lifted.
Right.
So,
I got you.
yeah,
Makes
Okay.
sense. Okay.
that's what I've been doing for 10 years. So,
It's worked out. I haven't seen much frost damage.
No.
Going back, Mark, on the bunker list and the walkthrough, did you have any other follow-ups on that?
as far as
Just comments from what I laid out for everybody.
no.
Okay. Everybody good with that?
Yeah, I mean, they need to be done. You know, it's cut down my time to repair the bunkers by probably 25% already with what we've
Right.
done. Because they have to go in there and just rake, easily. They don't have to push all the sand up, and it saves a lot of time.
You want to give an update on the waste bunkers? I know you guys were working on sodding, getting those completed.
The bunkers on a few holes.
Yep, 16 and 8 are all.
16 and 8 are done. People decided to drive through them and mess up the sod, so we had to fix that today. So we put up ropes around them. It's ground under repair, basically.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Okay. All right. So they're all ready to go. So
No, they're sodded. They're all ready. They're done.
yeah.
Yeah.
Good.
All right.
All right. Any other questions on maintenance, everyone? Good. Okay. So just on the admin side, a couple of things, as I mentioned, budget's out there. We'll anticipate being at the workshops the end of the month. We'll get some feedback from the supervisors, and then I'll come back to you with that, and we'll go from there on the budget process. Eddie's just about done with his business plan, so I'll review that this week coming up and get that out to everybody so we can get the business plan updated for the budget workshop. COVID-19, I think we mentioned 50% at this point. Let's hope things hang in there. We know the numbers have been going up in Pennsylvania a little bit, so let's hope we can keep at the 50%. Thinking through that as we get to winter and cold season, we've looked at a couple of options. Do we market the idea that we have this nice big spacious room and an opportunity for dining, because we can still fit a 70 so on people in the room, even at 50%. So it's a number that would be nice to keep working our a la carte piece too. But I'm also looking at the other side. Do we really shrink it down to a just a golfer's very simple bar, hot dogs, grab and go kind of piece again, and run that through the winter and try to save on the labor and the other things, operational expenses and food costs and things. So we're looking at both. So I'll follow up with the steering committee, and we'll make some recommendations to the golf committee. On the food and beverage, September was a really busy month, so they're busiest. So total revenues for the month, 82,000 against 86,000. A la carte was 77%, but banquets 143% to budget. So really nice with the banquets. Fall menus out there now. Oktoberfest went well. was not the greatest weather. Friday rained and Saturday was cold, but it was good. People did get out there. We had music on Saturday, so it was a decent showing considering the weather. Those 2 days. Sunday was much nicer. Advertising's been busy with a lot of posting, a lot of videos, social media, as you're probably seeing, the email campaigns. Right now we're focused on trying to push out some of the folds of honor information, and a lot about the dining right now. Try to keep that going. Capital, I think I mentioned in the mower replacement, we try to look at a couple of triplexes and a utility vehicle, and possibly the aerator that Mark is demoing right now, which would help a bunch, because it's going to cost us about $5,000 to have a contractor come in. That's doing about half our fairways. If we did them all, it'd be about a $10,000 cost for outside services per year. A new unit's about $35,000. So, it's a 3-year payoff on one of these units that'll last 10 years. So, pretty good investment, we think. So something we're going to look into with Kurt as we finalize the budget. Bunkers we talked about, maintenance facade. We got 2 prices so far, just waiting on a third for the cleaning up the facade. It's just basically rotting out from time. Just needs to be updated. Landscape lighting and landscape in the parking lot. Mark, did you get any of the quotes back on that? I know you had some folks out there.
Not yet.
Not yet. Okay. So when those come.
I'm waiting for the quotes to come in.
Yep. Okay.
All right.
So as soon as they do, we'll look at that. Outdoor grill, again, it's going to come down to money here. But it is something we think that could, potentially be a good opportunity. I think it's one we can wait a little bit on and into spring and kind of figure out. But certainly another piece of the business that if COVID hangs around and outdoor dining becomes the thing that everyone's going to want to be doing, it would help us a lot to manage dining and events at the same time. I'm going to flip it over to the financials. Does anybody have any other questions on the agenda there? Good. I don't want to print you. Just want to download you. All right. Hit the button too many times. Yeesh. Come on.
Hey, Rich Eisner,
Yes.
those animals behind you are moving.
So Tim, I don't know if you heard while Mike's fussing around, we had a quiz for the golf committee. This was at a course I played today to see if anybody could identify what course it is. It's in New Jersey. And those animals are goats.
You didn't get an answer yet, did you? Okay.
Somerset Hills.
No, but that's the closest guess anybody's had location-wise.
Clueless.
Trump Bedminster.
Bam.
Couldn't take it anymore. Okay, moving along. So financials, I'll pull this back up so you can see the September 20th, the budget over under for the month %, which obviously you can see. And then these two numbers just represent where we are year to date in each of these categories again. So cart revenue, a good month, 67,000, budget was 55, so 12,000 ahead. Cart revenue, green fees 171 versus 160. So definitely did some catching up on golf. F&B, same deal, 98,000. So good showing there for the month. 315 and 585 is the budget year to date. So still got some ground to make up there. Golf shop, we're at 7,000 for golf shop revenues. The total golf shop was 24,000 versus a budget of 21,000. So we picked up a little bit on the ancillaries. Range, great month, 26,000. Budget was 18.5, so got us a lot closer. We're 132 against a budget of 145. So total revenues about 62,000 ahead of budget. After cost of goods, the gross profit. Oops, jumped too far. Gross profit was 51,000 ahead of budget. So right now, our total gross profit 1,818,000 versus the budget of 2,459,000. We do pick up some of that in expenses as we go forward. Obviously, with September being busy and the transition of the golf cart fleet, we did have an expense on the cart supplies to get those transitioned. So we had a little bit over golf cart supplies, but remember, we're not going to have any expense October, November, December. Our first cart payment will now be May 1st next year. So the balance of this year will allow us to catch up on some of that cart expense. Course and grounds, Mark had a pretty good month here. Nothing out of the ordinary. About $900 over budget. But you can see where he is year to date, 152,000 versus 204 for the year to date. Mark, any comments you want to make on that? Anything you want to note?
No. As far as chemicals, we're done with chemicals. There was a couple late bills that came in. That was minor, so
Okay.
a few $1,000. I'll be right on target.
Yeah. Okay. Just trying to look through. I know we had water purchase that hit last month.
That was a big bill.
It was a big bill. Yep.
$11,000.
I think it's still booked in. I think it's still booked in utilities. I did ask Brian to make an adjustment, so that'll get changed in probably the October financial. So we'll see that get changed over. Food and beverage, obviously a busy month. The big number that you see that throws them off budget is outside services. There's 7,000 in cost for the tent. If you remember, up in the revenue side, there was about a $15,000 revenue line. So the net result we keep on the tent rentals. So we made a couple dollars on tent rentals, but we're seeing that in our expense line. Nothing else really crazy out of the ordinary. You can see where we are, 39,000 versus 51 for the budget. G&A, the only big number on G&A is credit cards. We're about 3,500 over expensed in credit cards. You can also see the water utility line. Year to date right here is 19,000. That's what Mark and I were just talking about. That was the purchase of the city water for in July into August. So that's throwing G&A off a little bit. I'm going to adjust that back to maintenance, this 19,000. Some of that will get moved. Golf shop, tournament expense that hit this month, and dues subscriptions got booked. All the dues got pushed back this year, so they hit a little bit later. But they're right about on budget year to date. So they're kind of hanging in there. Whoops, did I bump marketing? And then marketing expense right now is 30,000. Budget was 22. We spent a little bit extra this month with the billboard, so we paid for the billboard, was $2,700 over. So that's what hit for the most part this month. But we're plugging away, trying to keep people coming. Range expense at this point is pretty much done for the year. You can see just about right on budget for range. On the payroll side, carts right on budget. Golf course grounds were about 5,000 over budget, but we did some aerating. Took care of the some of that work in September, so a little bit high there, but not too bad when you look year to date. We're 246 versus a budget of 289. F&B, obviously they had a busy month. They were over budget in revenue, so they are over budget in expenses for the month. Year to date, they're about 26,000 under budget, or 16,000 under budget. And then G&A, gosh, almost had it. G&A right now, we're about 115, just the budget's 113, so slightly over. Golf shop was slightly under for the month, which will pop on the next page. So golf shop's at 156, budget's 188. For the month, they were just about $800 under. So total expenses right now, $1,239,000 for the year. Budget was $1,405,000. So we picked up some of that loss, which puts us at about bottom line. We're looking at about $350,000 that we're behind on about $600,000 of revenue loss. So picked up some of that expense at this point. All right. Any other questions on the financials? Yeah.
Mike, I brought this up before, and maybe I'm missing something, but you talked about an $11,000 purchase for water.
Correct. Yes.
Is that primarily driven by our bad ceilings in our ponds where we're leaking our water out, or it's just lack of rainfall?
So, a little bit of both. So we had, we got two things going, we think. And Mark's waiting on the well driller to come in and do an inspection of the well itself. They gotta wait till it's a little, you're not using the water at this point. Now we can get somebody in there to pull that well and take a look. So the bottom line is the well, when we did the fracking of the well, when we did that work a few years ago, that really upped our ability, our volume to pump water into the pond. So we were maintaining. So what we were losing, we were kind of gaining back with the work we did with the fracking. So I think we spent about $6,000 to frack the well. So that was money well spent because it gave us almost 3 years of not having to purchase any water. Now this year, weather, July, very hot into August, a very dry period we had. So again, if the aquifer may be down a little bit, there may be other variables. And of course, we know the pond still is leaking. There's still, we know we're losing water. But in those periods of time when it's that hot, Mark's actually watering more. And so then we're in that need to have to purchase city water at that point.
But what's the break even point on saying, let's fix the leaks as opposed to paying for water?
Yeah, I think down the road, Tim, right now with where money is and the debt service, I don't think we have the capital to make that call today. So we're gonna eat some extra expense, I think, for another year. We may not need the water in 2021. We don't know. And if the well driller can tell us, maybe the pump just needs to get some work done on it again. We don't know. So once we have that information, yeah, we can make a better determination. Over long haul, yeah, it'd probably make sense. I think the numbers were about 160 to 180,000 when we did the bidding on that originally. Is that right, Helen? Remember that? Was it about 160, 180,000?
It was Mike. Hello.
Yeah. Yeah.
I think it was more than that.
Was it?
Yeah, to
Yeah.
fix all that.
Not
It's,
immaterial. We pray for rain, so.
Yeah, well,
Yeah, I think, yeah, the number's pretty big, Tim. So I think at this point, you know, an occasional year where we have cost for water that's beyond our, you know, what we normally would budget is probably okay. And again, depending on where we go with the debt service in the future with the town and how they want to handle that, that maybe opens up another conversation for capital again.
Understood.
Okay. Up on the screen, I wanted to share with you some of the information we've been gathering on there's two companies. I think I sent you both. I'm just going to pull up the one just because it's only a one pager. The other one was about a 13 or 14 pager, so you can read that one at your leisure. But just basically, they both do the same thing, just two different companies, which are tagging with GPS devices that allow for communication back to the pro shop so that we can track golf cart pace of play and mostly just get a really good handle on where things are out there so we can manage the cart fleet. It also helps with damage and things like that. If you get a cart that gets damaged, you know exactly where it happened, what happened to it. It just gives us a lot more information. Pricing, the net result on the pricing is probably about a $7,000-8,000, maybe $10,000 if we add some of the utility vehicles, beverage cart to the system, a year to do. So that versus what we could maybe save in some range ring could make a lot of sense going forward. So I'll gather up a little bit more data, and if anybody maybe wants to join a webinar with us, we're going to do a couple of webinars. So we'll maybe table that to the end of the meeting and share that if Rich, if you want to talk through that a little bit more. But that was that information that kind of shows you what's available. They do have some mobile devices. They do have front end GPS for the customer. Not sure it's, something we want to do today, but it is an option that can always be added later. But gives you some great analysis, some tools, information. So some good stuff. So let's take a look at that. Folds of honor. This is what we're looking for on sponsors. We did get a $1,000 sponsor the other day, so we're going to give them that dinner sponsor. And not so much that we need you all to find us title sponsors and things like that, but obviously if you can talk it up and let people know about the event. And T-sign sponsors are $150. So if there's anybody that has a business in town that might be interested, we'd like to do raffles and those things. So any gifts or things like that. So if you have friends in town that have a business, good opportunity for them to promote it. We got a full field, over 120 players, so it's going to be a nice day. I think Eddie mentioned last meeting we did win. Got honored for the efforts that we've done in raising money. That's just the ad from the October Fest. Hope you guys ate some pretzels and had a couple of beers out there. All right, so that's all I got for the agenda. I'm gonna stop sharing my screen and I'll turn it back over to you, Rich.
Thank you, Mike. So I'll turn it over to the committee and guests. Any questions for Mike? I'll start with Pat.
Really no question, just a quick comment. Over the summer, my wife had an opportunity to eat at the public house quite a few times with her and some different friends on Friday nights. And so I'd just like to, let Mike know and everybody that she loved the food every time. Great experience. I unfortunately, because I get done work usually late on Fridays, I didn't really get a chance to join her. But we did about a month ago go over on a Friday night. I was off, went over, took some friends over, friends that lived in Lower Makefield for the last 15 years. They had never been there before, never. They didn't even know about it. They didn't, it continues to be that, oh my God, I didn't know what a gem this place was. We had a great time, sat outside, the view's great, food was great, service was real good, prices, fantastic. So I guess the point of the story is, I would rather sit at the golf course and eat than sit in some parking lot of somebody else's restaurant in Yardley. I'm not going to name any names, but if we could just really get those people in this area to realize that sitting in the parking lot, that's great. And I understand you want to, support some local business, but the views and the atmosphere and the food and everything, it's a home run as far as I'm concerned. So, good job, Mike. Let everybody know, coming from my end, that everything was good. So thanks.
I guess I might be next up. Oh, sorry.
Go ahead, Alan. Go ahead.
Ditto in terms of the food and the ambiance on the deck. I don't know whether anything's being done in terms of heating or, like at 4 o'clock versus it got a bit chilly. So, and the Oktoberfest, I was really blown away in terms of the sausage thing that I had. I thought, oh, what are they ever going to do here? And this was yesterday where there was no one, it was sort of over, I guess, on Friday and Saturday, but it was really delicious. It was, and a great presentation. So I'm definitely a fan. You're doing a great job there. So
thanks, Alan. Thanks.
Yep.
Yeah, on the heating side, it's interesting because as we go, as it gets really chilly now, it's kind of like, what's the options out there? And this idea that we got this great room that we could still put 70 people in comfortably and really spread them out. So I want to move those walls, really open up the room. Now that we're past all the events, we'll be able to do that. So I'd like to set the whole room up, make it really feel open. We're going to do some videos in there again, and again, just try to keep hitting that. So just keep sharing it, let people know. We appreciate that information. The more we share it, the better we are. We got to keep pushing it on social media so people jump on it.
So,
And Mike, is it all reservation, or can we just do walk-ins?
You can do walk-in, but again, we run into that. We still have to, track reservations. It's required. So we strongly recommend calling just so we know and we know who's coming, kind of thing. And then just, check the event schedule to make sure we don't get into a situation where we got some type of event. Most of the stuff now we have is smaller. So, we don't have anything really going for the holidays right now. The holidays are really, unfortunately not what we would normally be doing. We relied on our banquet business in the off season in the past. And, this year is going to be a little different. We're going to have to try to rely on some a la carte to make it happen. But I do believe we have, the best feeling, comfortable space around to make that happen. So hopefully we can get that word out.
Thanks, Helen. Mark?
Nothing to add. I just wanted to check with Mike to see if they needed some help on Folds of Honor. If you need any committee.
Yeah. If you're around that day, we'd love to have you participate. We definitely need some volunteers. Again, just making some phone calls, to chase down some just raffle gifts and donations, any tea sponsors, anything like that. we don't anticipate a ton, because of where, retail business is right now. It's hard for everybody. But, if there's little things they can do, and we'll have the Eastern PA, New Jersey Folds of Honor chapter there with us. I'm on the committee. So they're going to bring a few folks, and they'll bring some gifts and some things. So it'll be a nice event, no matter what happens. But hey, anything we can add to it makes it a lot more fun. So anything you do, Mark, and day of, if you want to stand at the table with us, that'd be great.
Yeah, I'll email Ed.
Okay.
Thanks, Mark. Joe?
Little trouble getting unmuted. I really don't have anything else. I think everything went pretty well tonight, so it's unusual for us.
Thanks. Jim?
You should end it right there. Thanks.
I'm good.
Good, Jim.
Last
Sorry.
meeting minutes get to everybody in time for Rich to ask for approval.
They'll do that. I'll do that at the end of the meeting. But hopefully everybody's had a chance to look at them. Tim, any questions for Mike or Mark?
No, I'm good. Thank you.
And Kim?
Hi, yes, again, I know I'm still just the guest of this committee, but a couple things I do want to echo the point around just the music and the entertainment. I will say I myself have been there with a table full of women, and we're very happy to eat the food, drink the drink, and actually have some music to listen to. So thank you for that.
Thanks.
So the course, honestly, Mike, it's really looking in great shape. I know it's been a tough summer, but I really see the fairways and the greens are really coming back nicely for that. So a couple quick opportunities. One is just, I know we talked about this last time, but just given the number of ball marks, unfortunately, I think it gets so much use. I know we talked to Ed last time about just getting some signs in the cart. So it's been about, a month. And again, kudos for the carts. Those are also a big hit. But if we can get some signage about just the rules that people need to clean up their ball marks, it's simple, just holding people accountable would be really great. And just from some of the women out there, trying to get some kind of walking path between 6 and 7, especially now that the weather's getting nice. I know they kind of mow it down a little bit for the guys, and no offense, but to try to get just a little bit of a walking path, kind of behind 3 and over into 7, somewhere. Mm-hmm. So we don't have to cut across all along the guys there on 7 would be great, but I'm seeing all great stuff. So thank you.
Thanks, Kim. Mark and I'll take a look at the path, and I'll check in with Eddie tomorrow morning on the cart sign.
The women would be grateful for that. Thank you.
Remind me. Good.
Thanks, Mike. I don't have anything else. You're correct what you said at the beginning. The course is in very good condition right now, and it's just as busy as I've ever seen it this time of year. And, the weather's cooperating right now too. So that's a good thing. So, just keep all that up. Mark, same, comments on the condition of the course. By the way, Mark Ellison, for the merchandising, I don't know if you noticed, they brought in a line of Vineyard Vines apparel with the logo, and they've been selling like hotcakes, and they sold out of, I think, but all but 2 of the quarter zips. So good move by Lauren on that one, Mike.
Yeah. Nice piece.
That just tells you that people are looking for stuff, and let's keep pushing for maybe next year to introduce some new logo stuff, and I'll be happy to help on that side. Obviously, I have 30-something years in retail, so we can, don't have to go crazy, but adding new product that just keeps our players that show up every week, gives them something new to look at.
Yeah, got to keep it fresh, and just really, I think Lauren's getting the idea that smaller collections, more of them, is going to be a nice way to go for
yeah,
that.
When I walked in, I was looking at the quarter zips. Not that I don't have enough of them already, but like, well, what happened to all these? And she said, we sold them all. She goes, I wish I ordered more. So that was a good sign.
Yep.
So
Yeah.
thank her for that from the committee and the
Yeah.
town.
Will do.
So the last item that I had, Jim sent out, and again, I don't know if everybody had a chance to read them or not, the minutes from last month's meeting. So if everyone has had a chance to review them, I'd like to make a motion to approve the minutes from the last meeting. I need a second.
When did Jim send it out?
He sent them out.
Yes, earlier today. Second.
7:09 p.m. If everybody wants to take a minute and look at them, we can do that.
Yeah. I have to sign off. I'm out of town. Take care.
Hi, Ellen.
Thanks, Ellen.
Bye, Alan.
Good night.
Night. Thanks.
So now, without Helen, do we have a quorum, Jim?
I think we have a quorum.
I don't know what the definition of a quorum is, but we're missing 3 committee members out of 9. So let's assume we have a quorum. Can I get a motion to approve the minutes?
Oh,
Make a
motion.
I'll second.
Okay, all in favor?
Aye.
Okay, good.
Aye.
Thanks, everybody. Anything else from the committee?
No, I'll do a better job of sending the minutes out earlier next month. Sorry, guys.
It's all right.
That's all right. Thanks, Mark, or Jim. Okay, if nothing else, then let's call it a wrap. Mike, thanks for everything. Guys, committee, thank you for continuing to be on these Zoom calls. I know it's trying. I don't have a date yet for our November meeting. As soon as I get it from the township, I will let everyone know. So with that, can I get a motion to adjourn?
Adjourn.
Move.
Second?
Second.
Second.
Thank you. Let's